Holy movement. This might be one of the 3 keyboards I've ever tried that have so much movement that I even just lightly tapping on it, I can literally feel it going up and down. And it still sounds good. This is the Etar87, which is a beautiful looking keyboard. I've had the opportunity to talk to the designer, which is Bloody Easy. He's been, I would say you can tell that he's been very passionate about this, which makes me really happy too. I'm excited to take a look at this. I think the vendor is going to be Click Clack. I don't know about regional vendors, or I guess they're listed here because this has been updated. Click Clack will be US and international. Taiwan will be TypoWorks. Cafage will be Ocean. Keycap EU. J will be UK. Desk Hero Canada. Oh, nice. We have a Canadian vendor for this. And then we have Keycaps, which is Singapore. We have a bunch of different colors, which I'll show you guys the case. I think we have black here today, or maybe we have the brown color, but there's some really pretty colors with this. There's like a dark brown, it looks like, dark blue. I guess that's considered dark gold, not dark brown. Emerald green, purple, and red. Very cool. Alps and MX, which we'll take a look at the PCB afterwards. I really like this. This is, Bloody Easy was telling me about this too, that the Etar in Arabic is basically whatever covers the outside of a thing, similar to a border, reflecting both the keyboard engraving design language and its cultural roots to the designer. The name pays homage to the beauty of Arabic architecture and calligraphy, much like the V1 Arch did. If you guys don't know, Arabic actually has really pretty, I want to say typography, but I feel like that's not the right word. Very pretty calligraphy. It's very, very beautiful. But let's take a look at the keyboard, shall we? We'll go through the specs in a bit here. We'll be doing a special run of Etar87 PCBs that support Apple AEK keycaps for Alps. Oh, that's cool. Also, I think it's quite unique. It's a unique shape for this keyboard too. Oh, this is the dark gold one. Beautiful. You gotta love the F-rolless. The F-rolless, whatever you want to call this, basically. F-rolless full? F-row full size, basically. Beautiful, man, beautiful. I even flipped it over. Phenomenal color, absolutely great. I have a very soft spot for brown keyboards, so I'll tell you right now, loving this. I really like the internal weight design here. It's very simple, but it's just minimal and striking to me. I think it's the screws. The screws are really selling me on this. We can see the USB-C daughter board will go right over here, so it's not really a centered USB-C port, which I'm personally not hurt over it. So I think that looks really good. That looks super good, dude. Flip that thing. Oh, I do like this split weight. The feet were supposed to be shipped to me, and there was a lot of feet that were supposed to be shipped to me, but they still haven't arrived. So here is, by the way, the weight up close, because I think this is where the beauty of this weight is that small design that goes around. Stunning. Very pretty. Here is the back of the board, so again, that non-centered USB-C, which might be a turn-off to some people, but I mean, it isn't for me. Corners are all very well-rounded, which I really, really like. And then here is our side profile. Sort of box on wedge-ish, not really. We do have a bit of a taper in or outwards here. Well, I guess it depends on which direction we kind of go from. I do like the seam. I like seams on keyboards. I just think they look pretty. I think it breaks up some of the shape here. But very nice. Very, very nice. Simple to the point. I think it gets the point across. It's a very fun, not so well represented layout, which is cool. Just resent the email. I'll take a look after this, Nelly. Thank you so much, man. The weight of the keyboard built should be around 2.3 kilograms. It's a 17.98, we'll just call it 18 millimeter front height. The EFH is 21.5 millimeters. It's a 7.5 degree typing angle. Beautiful. Love it. I think this looks really good. My eyes, I know. I love it though. I absolutely love it. Actually, this is a really cool detail on the PCB over here as well. I don't know if it's super easy to see, but very cool detail. Best looking PCBs are red. Absolutely. By the way, Bloody, do you have a final price? Because I'm just kind of going based off of what the IC says here. It was about 400 USD for a 100 Mach. I don't know if it's changed since. 355? Damn. 355 makes this very desirable for something low quantity, because I'm assuming this is probably still going to be rather low quantity, and this particular layout. I do like that. It's not the most complex keyboard in the world, so don't take it as the most complex thing in the world, but I do think for something a bit more niche, expect to pay a little bit more, because again, low quantities, not as much interest sometimes in FRL stuff, although you should have interest in FRL stuff. It's really cool. And you can see the Alps compatible PCB as well, little QC sticker, which I'll just leave on. All right, cool. Good little PCB, lots of options, tons of options on this. You guys can see multiple different space bars. I think you can also use 10U, right? Not that I have, and don't start asking, not that I have a 10U space bar or a wire for that. I think you can use 10U, and then we have ISO, tons of stuff. This is PCBs loaded. We have screws, we have some mounting stuff over here, more mounting stuff. I don't know what these are. A daughter board, and what else? And then some other little things here too. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm kind of going in this board blind to see how I can build this, so should be fun. The bottom mount solution is really interesting. Well, we'll take a look. We'll take a look. Now, we're gonna be using Granite switches today. Actually, this looks really pretty with the PP plate. Very nice, very nice. Now we can open up this beautiful keyboard. We don't have feet for it. Again, I might just stick on some bubble feet for the time being, but let's open this beautiful, beautiful keyboard up. Bottom mount, please. I kind of want to hear top first. I mean, I feel like top mount's really easy to do. So why not just start it and then I can unscrew some screws and then, yeah, like why not both, right? Also, you don't mind that I put these feet on? We can always rip them off afterwards. More for Bloody here because it's his keyboard. They're just thin little circle feet. Go ahead. Perfect. Not the correct feet, but honestly, they don't look that bad on this. Abstract it is. I actually would love to see Abstract on a brown keyboard. All right. That looks insanely good. Nice combo, right? This looks great on this. It's a nice warmth for the keyboard. It really brings out the best of all the colors here. Sloth would look good. I think Sloth is a classic choice for this, even classicer, but something just a little bit more like off the beaten path, I suppose, would be like, dude, I think this looks fantastic on this. We're about to find out what this sounds like now. A little bit of resonance, which is fun for a top mount, and we have another mount we're going to try after this too. Ooh, the spacebar is hitting. Dude, the spacebar is hitting. A little bit of resonance. Well, actually, I would say pretty moderate resonance with this. You have to really like the resonance in the top mount here. I bet if you force broke some of this, that resonance would just disappear. It does sound like some vibration from the case transferring over to the plate. I don't think it's end sound. I don't think it's a distasteful resonance. I actually think it kind of lends to the top mount in a very tasteful way. Like I would be honest and tell you guys if this sounded hollow or crap. I don't think this sounds hollow or crap. It's a fun resonance. Again, if you force broke this with some stickers or some masking tape, you'd probably all disappear. The fact that you can get this resonance though and this spacebar, super fun and tasteful. I don't even know if it's like, I probably wouldn't, like personally. I kind of like the way this combination sounds. This spacebar is perfect though. Absolutely immaculate top mount spacebar. Immaculate. I love the way this spacebar, it kind of like shapes the whole keyboard in my opinion. Now, we're gonna do bottom mount. All right, so next up, bottom mount. I need to figure out how the bottom mount works. I feel like there's a few ways to go about making it. I have a feeling on how to install it. Just turn the screws upside down. Oh, all right, so top mount done. I liked it. Definitely a little bit more metallic-y, resonance heavy. We have a few different mounts for the bottom here. Bloody, do you have a preferred one that you'd recommend using? And will all these come in the final unit here? It seems like we have some aluminum ones, some FR4 ones, and I guess some plastic ones. Which ones do you guys want to see? I'm only going to do one of these. These just sit, I guess in here, right? And then do these go up or down? Do they just pull upwards? I feel like they pull upwards, right? One small little thing I would suggest, if it's possible for this bloody, is if you're going to use countersunk screws, I would also make this countersunk as well. So the screws would sit more flush. As it is right now, there's going to be a small gap above the screw, above these little tabs here. So if the plan is to use countersunk, I would stick with countersunk parts on the plastic as well. So far, so good though. I have no other real feedback. I like the design overall. Very, very pretty. One small piece of advice I can give you as well that could also reduce some unwanted pinging noises in your keyboard bloody is, first of all, love that you have alignment tabs. Love these little alignment circles. They could be silicone to help flush out any like weird vibrations that might come from the bottom of the case. Obviously though, that would change the amount of resonance you might get from the keyboard. So I feel like obviously personal preference. All right, and I guess this is now the fun part of aligning all this. I feel like it's a little bit like tadpoles, yeah. Oh, this was like very easy to align. Very nice. Appreciate that. All right, let's see how this sounds like now. Wow, that is so different. So that almost perfectly isolates now the PCB and plate. Okay, wow, that is insanely different. Oh my, do you guys see this? Holy movement. This is, okay, this might be one of the 3 keyboards I've ever tried. One of 3 or 4 that have so much movement that I even just lightly tapping on it, I can literally feel it going up and down. That is like one of the first. You can feel the vibration. And it still sounds good. That sounds really good. Some of the keys still have that resonance that we liked in the first. I mean, there's no flex cuts at all. It's just the mounting style here. Damn. This feels, I mean, it sounds really good. This is a unique feeling. This is incredibly unique feeling. You know, it's weird. I think the top mount was fun and it was done pretty good. I almost feel like this supersedes what the top mount is. This mount, I think, was done and handled very well within this keyboard. I almost feel like if you buy this keyboard, you're better off just using this mount because it is crazy good. This feels incredibly nice. It's like the Corsa, but I will say it feels more well done than the Corsa. I think this is like one of the best keyboards to showcase these switches. Like they sound super full and like lively within this keyboard. It's really nice in this board. Bottom mount with a super clacky switch would sing. I think if you go clackier, this would be even crazier. Yeah, I built a lot of boards with Granites now, but I would assume, okay, my prediction, which I don't have time to do this today, unfortunately. I didn't even know we'd be running this long. If we were to use, I don't think I'd want to use the FR4s. I think the aluminum would just be stiffer. I actually don't think this would change the sound profile too much. I really don't. I think it would just be a slight bit stiffer. If I'm being real, I think the fullness on the spacebar kind of hits. I don't think this is going to be as springy as you might think. And maybe my worry with this, and if it's okay to showcase this, which I think it is, because I think it's important to look at. My worry with these is if you put too much pressure on the board. So my worry is this is going to happen. And then it stays like that. That's my worry with this. And I almost say, like, this is already bent. Yeah. So I worry that that's going to happen. And then it doesn't bounce back up. I almost feel like the PC ones and the FR4 ones, unfortunately, I don't really like FR4, but I almost feel like these might be not the best of choices. Because again, if you put a little bit too much pressure in one point, you might bend these and it could make the whole keyboard sit funny. So, Bloody, I'm speaking to you directly. I think you nailed it with this board. Like I said, I think perhaps really stress test these aluminum ones if you have them with you. Really stress test them, see if there's room for failure there. Obviously, I haven't installed it, so I'm just making an observation. It could have room for failure. Love the bottom mount. You did absolutely... Oh, the aluminum FR4 are just beta. Okay. Absolutely nailed the board, bro. You absolutely nailed this. Great board. Great project. Love the way it looks. Pretty unique feeling keyboard. Pretty unique. Really like it. The only other thing I would suggest is if you're going to go with the PC ones, which it looks like the PC ones probably are the best fit for this board, you have like a countersunk screw, so match it with, you know, have like a little V shape basically that goes in those PC ones. I wouldn't change anything else. I think the board is absolutely fantastic the way it is. For some future insight, maybe those alignment points could be silicone opposed to metal. Although it doesn't really matter. I think the board sounds phenomenal as is right now. Visually, I like everything about it. I wouldn't change anything. I think you did an excellent job here, bro. Excellent job. So, and I think the price, in case you guys missed that as well, the price being $365, what did we say for the hot swap unit, or $355 for solder? Insane. I think that's great. $355 for this project is really nice. But a very, very cool project. Love it, dude. Bye, everybody. See you guys. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.